Hi guys, and welcome to lesson 2 of this series on Nile Rodgers guitar style. I thought I'd just start off this lesson just by talking a bit about tone, guitar tone. I think Nile Rodgers has a really distinct and unique tone, and I've tried to recreate this best I can. I'm using a square Stratocaster and a Fender Champion 100 watt amp. And I've just got it on a clean sound. I've just tried to get like a sort of scratchy, clean funk tone. So I've got the, as I said, I'm using a Fender amp, and I've got the treble set at about 8, and then the mid and bass set at about halfway up, 5. And obviously there's many ways you can sort of recreate and get a good funk tone. And I think Nile Rodgers still like manages to get a totally unique and distinctive sound. Even when a lot of funk guitar sounds similar, his is always like instantly recognizable. So I think I would recommend just experimenting with this sound. And on the guitar, I've got the volume at about 8, and I've got the both tone knobs turned up full. I think I managed to get a nice sort of funk sound, but as I said, there's many ways to get a nice funk tone, so I would recommend experimenting with it. And as far as effects, later in the series, when we come to learn certain songs such as Let's Dance by David Bowie, there'll be a lot of there'll be a lot of reverb and delay effects, which I'll talk about and mention what effects I'm using when we'll come to that later in the series. I thought I'd just start off just by mentioning that it's important to get a nice tone when playing this style of music. Yeah, and this is just my attempt at recreating Nile Rodgers' sound. As I said, there's many ways to try and recreate this sound. I would maybe recommend using some compression as well. As I said, there's many ways to recreate Nile Rodgers' sound and get a nice clean funk tone. So I thought I'd just mention that at the start of the video. The next thing I want to talk about in this video is just a few more bonus chords, just practice playing in a funk style, like similar to what we did in lesson 1. I'm just going to play the chords and then practice sort of sliding into the chords, adding hammer-ons, pull-offs. So the first chord I'm going to look at is the E add 9 chord, which is a very common chord used in funk. It's commonly known as the Hendrix chord. It's not really used in any of the songs that we're going to be covering in this series, but I thought I'd just add it in just because it's just such a commonly used chord in funk, and if you're looking to get into funk, it's definitely a one you want to learn. So that's E add 9 chord. The next chord I'm going to show you is a minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's a really nice chord. So it's practice sliding into it. And again, I would recommend just sort of experimenting with these chords, practicing playing them in a funk style, and maybe practicing with a metronome again, and just sort of changing between them. The next chord I'm going to look at is a minor 13 chord, and we're going to look at A minor 13 with a root. E string. We're going to look at A minor 13 with a root on the A string. And the final chord I want to show you is a A minor 7 with a flat 6, so that's this chord. The root on the low E string. That's a chord which will come up later when we learn the song "Everybody Dance," the Chic song "Everybody Dance." So that's the final chord I'm going to be showing you. So we're now going to get straight into learning Le Freak by Chic, which is just such a great song with a great funky riff going all the way through it. Pretty much a bit like Get Lucky, it's just sort of repeats, but it's just so great. So I'm just going to show you how I play that. The verse and chorus just sort of follows a C major chord to a D major. So the first thing I think is important when learning this song is just to highlight. Make sure you're highlighting that melody line. So there's really I like to switch between two sort of melody lines while playing the chords at the same time. So the first melody line is, so it's, so you want to get that melody line in. So it's going to start off with a hammer on from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the D string. And then you're playing a D major triad and a C major triad. And what you want to do is to highlight that the melody line while playing the chords simultaneously. So the melody line is going to go. I like to highlight two melody lines. The first one is, and the second one is. He's on the record. He sort of changes between those two sort of riffs. So and he adds the D major and C major triads. So you're going. 5 on the A string, 5 on the D string, to 7 on the A and D string, 5, 7, and then 7 again on the A and D string. So, and then hammer on from 5 to 7 on the D string. 5, 7 on the D string, and then 2 on the 5th fret of the G string. So far. 2 on the G string, 5th fret, and then 7 on the D string. 5, 7. And then the D major triad to C major. So all together. And the second riff starts the same again. Then so just going hammer on 5, 7, 2 on the 5th fret of the G string, 7th fret of the D string, 5th fret of the G string, and 7th fret of the D string. So the second riff is and then just the major triads again. So riff 1, riff 2, so here it is played slowly. Here it is played a bit quicker. Next, we're going to look at another great Chic song called Good Times. And I'm going to show you how I play this. So it's just the chords are, it's based around E minor 7 chord. And you're just using hammer-ons and pull-offs. And again, remember the strumming patterns, the 16th note strumming patterns, that's sort of down, down, up, down, down, up. Strumming pattern is definitely on show here. So the main riff is going to go. So you're going from an E minor 7. If you do that down, up strumming pattern. You're going to the 10th fret of the B string, extending that chord. And then you're doing 7 stabs on that chord. And then you're going to an octave. Well, this is how I play it. You're going to an octave. So it would be the 7th fret of the D string and the 10th fret of the B string. So you're going from the E minor 7. And then going to the A octave, so it'll be the 7th fret of the D string and the 10th fret of the B string. So that's the strumming pattern for this song. You're doing like a upstroke on the final. And then the final chord, which you're doing the stops on, it'll be a D major 7 chord. So you're going E minor 7, extending it, the A octave, and the D major 7. And in the verse part of the song, I like to play a similar sort of thing, but just making the chords a bit fuller. So playing the E minor 7, and then going to an A dominant 7, and then back to the D major 7. So I'll play. So the chorus part. And the verse part. Yeah, so that's Le Freak and Good Times, 2 classic Chic songs, and we're going to be learning a couple more Chic songs in the next lesson. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in lesson 3 of the series.